All right. Well, welcome to our latest webinar from the Office of Admissions at SBU. Tonight we're going to be focused on some updates from the admissions office, financial aid updates, but also excited to do a tour and a presentation of our nursing area and our nursing simulation lab with our program director, Heather Daulton, is joining us tonight for that. My name is Brant Merritt. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment and Marketing, so I will be kind of guiding the tour as we get going here in a little bit. But before we do that, I am going to turn it over to Natalie Goatley, our Director of Undergraduate Admissions. And Natalie, you have some updates from admissions. Updates from admissions for us. Take it away, Natalie.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brant. So my name's Natalie Goatley, and if we haven't had the chance to meet yet, I'm our Director for Undergraduate Admissions. We're glad you're here tonight. And we're going to just talk briefly about some next steps in the admissions process. We are currently awarding financial aid packages, which is really exciting. And so if you're at the point where you've been accepted to SBU and you've sent us your FAFSA, then you're really set up for receiving your financial aid package and getting a good inside look at what scholarships and aid you qualify for at SBU. We have what's called the financial aid questionnaire that you can complete with your admissions counselor to help us catch all of the all of the SBU scholarships that you might qualify for. So be in touch with your admissions counselor. We'll give you that contact information in just a moment. But those are really the few things that you need to do to be ready for financial aid is being accepted to SBU, filing your FAFSA, and then completing that financial aid questionnaire with your admissions counselor. So from there, if you've already done that and you're at the point where you're reviewing your financial aid package, you can do that from accessing your My Bearcat portal. And so you'd go to SBU's website, select My Bearcat at the top. You'd use your login information that has been sent to you in an email from our help desk. If you have any trouble locating that, you can also reach out to your admissions counselor for that information. And then once you're inside your My Bearcat portal, you'll notice at the top there is a button for financial aid/billing. And then from there, you click on accept financial aid. And then that'll pull up a checklist that you'll be able to navigate and review your financial aid. Then from there, just a quick note, if you are bringing in outside scholarships from outside of SBU, then you can report those here within your financial aid checklist by clicking on financial aid at the top, report and view outside awards. And we recommend that you know first what the requirements are for your outside scholarship. Is this an outside scholarship that is being sent directly to you that you can use for various needs? Maybe it's a new laptop for school or different needs that you might have. Or is this a scholarship that is needing to be sent directly to SBU? And you only need to report the scholarships, the outside scholarships here that are going to be directly sent to SBU. So that just gives us a heads up to keep a lookout for it and lets us add it onto your financial aid package so that you've got a good complete picture there. So once you've added that outside scholarship, it might take about 5 business days for it to show up on your account, but then you can be looking for it on your financial aid checklist. Okay, so then just a few other steps. Once you've reviewed your financial aid, you can do that again with your admissions counselor. Then we encourage you to just continue maximizing your scholarship opportunities. So maybe that looks like scheduling a music audition with SBU or a speech and debate audition. Maybe it's continued conversations with athletic coaches at SBU, but we certainly recommend getting with your high school guidance counselor and working with them on any outside scholarship applications that you can be applying for. So definitely recommend that. And then from there, if everything is looking good to go, you're ready to be a Bearcat. Maybe you're enrolling and you're going to be a future nursing student at SBU. Then you would submit your $200 enrollment deposit. That secures your spot in the classroom for the pre-nursing program. And Heather will get into a little bit more information regarding the steps to apply to the nursing program specifically. And then it also lets you submit your housing application. So once you do that deposit, you get information about the new student onboarding form as well as your housing application. And then you're pretty caught up at this point. So those are the steps to be focused on. And then we'll be in touch with more steps as you continue through preparing for the fall of 2026. Okay, and then before I turn it over to Heather so we can get diving into information about SBU's nursing program, here are our admissions counselors. And so this is also available on our website. If you're not sure who you're working with, you can navigate to our website, select where you're from, and then you'll be able to know who your admissions contact person is. And all of our counselors are really looking forward to working with you and helping you navigate your admissions process. Okay, and then we do have some upcoming visit opportunities. So Bearcat Days is coming up on Friday and Saturday, March 27th and 28th. And this is only for students who have been accepted to SBU for fall 2026. So it's a really great event to get an inside look at campus life. There are lots of activities that are going to be happening. Students will have the opportunity to either see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, our spring production, or participate in Dorm Olympics, which I believe involves a lot of volleyball. So it's going to be a great weekend and we'd love to have you join us. And then if that day doesn't work out, of course, you can schedule personal visits anytime throughout the week. Okay, and then if you're still some ways to explore SBU from home, you can join us for chapel Monday, Wednesday, 10 o'clock. And so that gives you, again, just an insider look at campus before you get here. And then we have a virtual tour you can do online as well. So again, we're really excited to continue working with you through your admissions journey, and also excited for you to get to know more about the nursing program tonight. So with that, Heather, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for inviting me to be on here. I am Heather Daulton. As Natalie said, I am the program coordinator for our Bachelor of Science program on the Bolivar campus. So we have a Springfield campus nursing, and we also have a Bolivar campus. Our Bachelor of Science program is on the Bolivar campus, and that's the program that I coordinate. So I'll give you a little bit of information about our BSN program. We admit every fall semester. So we admit once a year. So I take applications beginning the fall before. I'll start collecting applications, and then I like to notify students of their acceptance into the program, usually at the end of the fall semester. So around Christmas time, I like to start getting my letters of acceptance out, and we do that via email. So I encourage the students to apply. If they know they're going to start fall 26, they should already have applied to the program. If you're ready to start nursing classes in the fall of 26, I would encourage you to go ahead and apply right now. There is no admission testing for admission into the nursing program. We just have some minimum prerequisite requirements that we'll go over in a minute.
We lost the presentation there, Natalie.
Oh, there it is. Our nursing program, so a BSN degree is you get 2 years of general education, or at SBU, we like to call it Discover courses, and that includes all of your prerequisite courses. So you'll spend 2 years doing that, and then the nursing program is actually 2 years or 4 semesters of nursing classes. Our program is hybrid, so that means that we have both seated courses and online classes. Our nursing courses, our fundamentals of nursing, our med-surg nursing, our pharmacology, maternal child, those courses are all seated in person with full-time faculty leading the classroom, and then you'll have clinical sites to go with that. And then our online portion is our research classes, our spirituality classes, our informatics classes. Some of those baccalaureate level BSN classes are online 8-week session classes. So students like this, they get some flexibility with the online and the seated hybrid program. So that's a good thing. Our students seem to appreciate having some flexibility with the online and seated classes. We'll show you our state-of-the-art skills and simulation lab. It's very impressive. We do lots of our training in the skills lab. The goal of our skills and simulation lab is to prepare students for the clinical areas. So everything that the students would do in the clinical setting, we like to teach first and practice in the skills and simulation lab. So it's a great opportunity to practice their skills, become competent in their skills, and I'm always preaching to the students, with increased competence comes increased confidence, and it just circles around. So we use our skills and simulation lab to really enhance competence and confidence in our students' abilities to prepare them to go into the clinical setting. We are a small school. We have a small cohort and small clinical groups. We average about 20 to 24 students in our class, and our clinical groups around 6 per clinical group. So you get some really good attention, some faculty can really hone in on what your needs are, what your weaknesses, what your strengths are. And so we really get to know our students well and work very closely with our students. We also have a great collaboration with some clinical sites. We're collaborated with Mercy in Springfield, CMH here in Bolivar, and then we have a variety of clinical experiences I'll share more on. But we have a rich clinical environment, and so students get lots and lots of hands-on. You don't go to nursing school and sit in the classroom all day long for all your classes. We have lots of hands-on, interactive clinical experiences that the students go through to prepare them to go to the hospital to work as a nurse. And then our high school early acceptance program is a great program for high school seniors. If you're a high school senior and you're looking to commit to SBU to come to nursing, I would encourage you to check out our high school early acceptance program. There are some minimum requirements. You need a minimum ACT score of 21. And then there's a real brief application that I would ask you to fill out. It's on our SBU nursing website, but that will guarantee you a seat in the nursing program. So just being admitted to SBU doesn't guarantee you a seat into the nursing program. Once you are finished with your prereqs, you'll apply. But if you're part of our high school early acceptance program, that does guarantee you a seat. So we like to snag you. If you're interested in SBU, we want to commit to you just like you're committing to us. And so we want to make sure if you're committed to us, we'll save you a seat when it's time for you to join our nursing program. So check that program out if you're a high school senior and meet the criteria.
Heather, that kind of touched on a question I was going to ask you real quick.
Okay.
So we do have, it's possible for someone to be a transfer student, come in for their first fall semester and have met all of these prerequisite requirements and get into the program. It's not really possible for a freshman to come in and start right in the nursing program because you have to get these prerequisites taken care of. So that's just, I don't know if everyone really knows that as they're looking at programs that when it comes to nursing, you do have to have some undergraduate work done before you can start the actual nursing program.
Yeah, I am seeing a lot of high schoolers coming in with dual credit, and we have a lot of science prerequisites. You'll see we have biology, chemistry, A&P1, A&P2, micro. It's unlikely that a student would come from high school with all of those prereqs. But if they did, then my next question would be, how old are they? You cannot go to clinical unless you're 18 years of age. So if you were coming directly from high school with all of those prereqs done and you're not 18, you still need to wait until you're 18 to be admitted to the nursing program. That's a clinical site requirement at the hospital. So these are our prereqs. You have to have these prereqs completed with a minimum grade of a C to be admitted to the program, and then overall GPA of at least a 2.8 or higher. We admit students with a lot of students on the condition that they're going to finish these courses. So I can admit you in January while you're still taking and finishing your A&P2 class in the spring. You just have to have all of your courses and prereqs finished before the start of school in August. So even if you needed to take a summer class, I can still admit you conditionally upon the conditions that you're going to finish that class by August before the summer starts. We just need to make sure we get all your transcripts to SBU. And then our clinical sites I wanted to kind of share about. So I said we kind of have a rich clinical environment. We send our students to long-term care starting out in fundamentals in first semester. So this is a great experience. The little elderly people love to see the students. I tell the students they're like Christmas gifts with bright red bows on their heads walking around the nursing home. The elderly love them. And it's just a great opportunity for the students to practice some of their skills they've been learning in skills lab, their communication skills. And then from there, the students will start going to the hospitals. We go to Mercy in Springfield and CMH here in Bolivar. We try to rotate the students. So if one semester you go to Mercy, we'll flip you to go to CMH the next semester so you can get some broad experience. Both systems are amazing. They have different health record systems, and so students are given access to the health record systems just like an RN is. And so just getting that experience working with Epic and working with Expanse and Meditech is great opportunity for preparing students to go elsewhere whenever they graduate. They'll get rotations in the emergency department and the ICUs. We go to pediatrics. So Mercy has PICU, NICU, St. Jude's, Peds clinics. OB, L&D is a popular spot. The students love to go to labor and delivery, postpartum. CMH has a fantastic birthplace. Mercy has a huge L&D delivery area. And so students get rich experiences in those areas. And then mental health, community health, we send the students to ride around with a home health nurse, with a hospice nurse. They get to go to the Greene County Jail. They get to go to the local schools. So we send them to like the Bolivar Primary School, the high school for a rotation there with a school nurse. And then students have the option to go to Camp Barnabas in the summertime. One of our faculty, Blair Stockton, leads that, and the students have a wonderful time working with students and campers there at Camp Barnabas. And then simulation, we'll give you a tour of that in a little bit, but that's another great way. In clinical, the faculty is always with the students, or a preceptor is always supervising the students. So we try not to let the students make a mistake. Well, if the student's going to make a mistake, we'll intervene, hopefully. But in simulation, we let the students kind of do as they think is right. And so if that means the student makes a mistake and gives the wrong medication for a mannequin, that's okay. It's not going to harm the mannequin. But what we say in simulation, what happens in sim stays in sim, and we let mistakes happen in sim, because we find that, I mean, you all know, everyone learns best whenever we make a mistake and have the opportunity to learn from it. So that's what simulation is really good for. We kind of make scenarios in a safe environment that students can practice and think independently as a student nurse, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and then go out into practice and hopefully not repeat those mistakes. Time for a tour.
Is that tour time? Okay. So thank you, Heather. That's a great overview of our program. Heather is going to make her way to our simulation lab where I am currently stationed. So we're going to highlight a few different parts of the lab here, and Heather's going to talk through the way some of these tools are used in different spots. To her point about preparation for real world, this is set up a lot like a hospital floor, which I'm sure Heather will talk about. But every time I walk in here, I'm impressed by the scale and the equipment. I was at another school that started a nursing program, and we built a brand new simulation lab from scratch, and I thought it was amazing, and this blows that out of the water. It's a fantastic space. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and Heather, you are now on camera in our tour. So we want to start maybe with over here with the
so
arms.
Within ours, we'll call it a skills site and a simulation site. This is our skills training site. We are currently, our students they're learning how to start IVs. So we have this wall of arms that the students can schedule time to come in and practice. We've trained them during a clinical hour, and then we have a dedicated full-time simulation and skills lab coordinator, Julia Wilkin, and so she staffs this lab full-time Monday through Friday, so students can self-schedule, sign up for a time in addition to the regular clinical time to come in and practice these skills, and she's always available to work with them. So this is a skill. We'll change the mannequins out depending on what skill we're teaching. But right now we're working with IVs.
And let's see, we'll hit these guys first, and then there we go.
So again, we do a lot of task training with these mannequins. We have 10 mannequins in this area. So we have 3 on each side, and then we have some private rooms. But these mannequins, they're electronic, so they'll turn on. They have heart sounds, lung sounds, pulses. They can talk, they can cough. We can change the lung sounds and the belly sounds to be abnormal, the cardiac sounds to be normal, abnormal. So when we're training students on physical assessment, we can teach normal versus abnormal. They can put catheters in these mannequins. We can put water in their bladders, and so when they put a catheter in, they actually can get some urine return out. We can put tubes down their nose for an NG tube. We can hook it up to suction. We can apply the oxygen. So really anything that we could do to a patient in the hospital, we can practice here. They have an IV in place. We can hook we can hook this pump up to the IV, and we can turn the pump on and run an antibiotic. So when we're learning and teaching how to hang fluids and antibiotics, the students can actually turn the pumps on, practice doing it just like they would in the hospital. We have pumps. This is a CMH pump. This is the brand of pump that CMH uses. We also have Alaris pumps that Mercy uses. So the students are not having to learn the technology at the hospital. They're learning it here before they go here, so they can look real confident in front of their patients.
No, that's awesome. And then we've got our individual hospital rooms. I guess I don't know which one. Yeah, I'll follow you.
Yeah, these are just all of the same mannequins, but private rooms. So when students want to practice, they can shut the door just like they would in a hospital.
Yeah. And then same kind of setup over here with more of the mannequins and more hospital rooms.
All of our mannequins have names.
That's right.
The first graduating cohort got to name them all, so they all have names.
And is this, so this is modeled after an actual hospital floor?
Yeah,
I think pretty close.
If you've ever been in a hospital, this is the simulation area, but these hospital beds are set up in the walls with the oxygen and the gloves. And I mean, these are old hospital beds. All of the equipment that are out there is something that you would find in a hospital. So yeah, it very much looks like a hospital. We'll highlight, this is our mama baby mannequin. So we got a grant a couple of years ago, and we purchased the mama mannequin. So you can see she's got a baby outside now, but this baby during the simulation can fit inside her tummy. And students will get to go to labor and delivery and postpartum, but the likelihood that a student will get to actually help deliver a baby is probably slim just because of the risk of it.
Yeah.
But we want the students to get that experience, so we can turn the monitors on, we can have IV, medications running, and then the mannequin comes on. It's controlled from the control room around the corner, but she'll go into labor and she'll actually deliver the baby. So the students get opportunity to call the doctor, read the monitor and the contractions that she's having, and then do newborn care as well. So once mama delivers the baby, they have to do postpartum care, and then they can come over to this bed, and this is also a mannequin. So this baby is electronic, so she'll wake up, she'll cough, she'll cry. The students can practice swaddling, they can practice their physical assessment, they can weigh the baby, weigh the diapers. So everything that you would do when a mom delivers a baby, we have here, so the students can practice.
That's very neat. And this was a big deal when she came in, because it's another level of simulation that we weren't able to do before. Yes. And like you said on the intro, this is a very popular form of nursing that I think our students really benefit from. Perhaps
the fan favorite. Not everybody wants to be a labor and delivery pediatric nurse, but we have a lot of students that are interested in this area. So it's a special area. And they do get some experience in the hospital, but again, mamas are protective of their babies. So this is something that we like to give them an opportunity to simulate.
I didn't notice that first. We've got Psalm 139 up on the wall, which is awesome. Yeah. And then we were going to highlight the med room, because this is something that is pretty neat. A med room. So like I said earlier, in the hospital, the students will get to care for the patients. They'll get access to their records. They'll get to pass meds. They'll get to draw up medications. But this instructor will kind of help them or stop them if they're going to make an error. In simulation, we have all of the equipment. So we have a computer that will have orders on electronically, just like they would at the hospital. The student can read the orders, read the medication record. They can collect all of their supplies that they would need. There is no faculty back here to help them do this, but they've been trained. They know how to do all this, but they're having to think independently. So if they grab the wrong syringe or the wrong needle size, it's just an opportunity for them to learn from their mistakes. So it allows them to think independently. But we have it all set up just like a kind of a clean utility room. We run a Code Blue simulation, which is also another fan favorite. Critical care in pediatrics. Okay, what's a Code Blue simulation?
Code Blue. So, if you walk into the room and someone's not responsive, they're not breathing, their heart's not beating, when we call it Code Blue.
Okay.
So I got to come and grab the crash cart and wheel it to the room and hook them up to the monitor. And students run the ACLS protocol, which is an advanced cardiac life support. It's actually pretty impressive to watch them run it. But they've learned all about it in class. They've learned how to interpret the rhythms, the cardiac rhythms, and they've learned, what medications to give and when to give, when to shock, and they run a code.
How, for their reactions when they're learning in the classroom to when they start simulating, is it usually spot on, they jump right in, or does it take a minute to kind of like, oh, this is more real than I thought?
It's pretty real.
Yeah.
Like when you get doing compressions and you're in the middle of it, simulation, I know it's fake, but it doesn't feel fake when you're in the middle of it. And there's cameras all over, so we're recording this and other friends can see it around the corner while you're in here, but it doesn't feel like you're being recorded. You're in the moment and it feels very real. They come out, the adrenaline is very real during a code blue simulation, even though the mannequin always lives.
Oh, well, okay. So
they always save the life.
Exactly.
But they do a good job with it too.
And this was the control room that you mentioned where sort of instructions are given, you're able to monitor.
Yes. So I don't know if you can sort of see through the window. That's the mama room. So our sim coordinator, Julie Wilkin, will sit in here and she'll have her headset on and she can be the voice of the mannequin. She can control the mannequin's breath sounds, heart sounds, contractions. She can adjust the mannequin. So no sim is ever the same. We adjust it according to what the students are doing. So she sits back here and kind of runs the mannequin. The students can't see her, but she can see in the room. So
very cool. Those are the main highlights. So we've got Skills Lab and Sim Lab. You've been a working nurse. I mean, how does this sort of prepare? But if you had a space like this when you were preparing, does this kind of match your experience, or does this elevate maybe what you were used to?
It wasn't like this 20 years ago. We had those IV arms, but we didn't have any of this technology. So just being able to, just walk in and talk to it. It's really like talking to a real patient with Julie talking through the microphone. You can have a real conversation. So it just prepares them at a whole nother level to go into clinical. The confidence they have going into clinical is so much higher than it was whenever we just practiced the first time at the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think patients see that too. They feel they can see the confidence, and they're much more willing to let a student participate in their care if the student is confident.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you, Heather, I'm going to walk back out this way to show everything one more time. Heather, so as I'm walking through faculty, how many faculty do we have? And you mentioned the small cohort size. What are some of the other benefits to having the faculty with so much time one-on-one with students?
We have 3 full-time faculty on this campus, but we have a team of faculty in Springfield that supports us. And then we have some support in the clinical area with Mercy Hospital and the clinical instructors, but it's small. So we really do get to know the students very well, and we've all been working together for quite a long time. So we get to know the students well, and we get lots of wedding invitations at the end of it, and we keep in contact with a lot of our students. So it's nice. It's a good small program. We get to know you well. You get to know us well. It's a great place to learn.
Fits our Christ-centered, caring community. Feels like a family. We don't want to oversell the family thing, but it feels like it. Yeah. Well, I think let me flip this back around. That's going to do it for us tonight on the webinar and the tour of the simulation lab. Thank you, Heather Daulton, for walking us through, and for Natalie for giving some admissions updates. We will do another one of these in 2 weeks to talk about social sciences, so stay tuned for that one, and we'll do some more webinars throughout the spring and summer with other academic areas, so stay tuned, and thank you for joining us tonight.